And it looks like Dad is going with pipe A and Spaceman's going with pipe C.
Yeah, and pipe C is an interesting choice because if you ever have to soft reset to avoid a game over, it's much faster to go into pipe A. So, hopefully, Spaceman doesn't have to soft reset at all, where that would become applicable. And here we go.
All right, so here we go in the first level of the game. So one of the interesting mechanics that you will see at first is you can corner boost off of some blocks in the level in order to gain some extra frames, which will allow you to ultimately get a 345 on the timer, and it will be used across the run to save time as well. This first trick that you saw there was a super jump. It was not successful, but ideally you want to super jump near that piranha plant to save time getting onto the platform early, and it can be risky if you get too close.
Both runners finishing the level about the exact time. Both have the exact same amount of kills. Kratos, do you want to mention what the kill routing is?
So in this game we have an interesting mechanic, and as you can see next to the time we have an enemy kill count, and what that does is allows us to obtain a star once we have wrapped the kill count back to 0 after getting a kill after getting 99.
Ooh, Spaceman taking a more difficult route and taking damage from a frog and needing to start over.
That was an unfortunate death in this level. This is one of the longer levels in the game, at least it feels like. So, and it's very early on, so deaths in this zone are somewhat common and they're not very fun. But this race is very open because there's so many areas in the game where you can lose time, and so many places in the game where you can also gain ground. And as we see here, Slash, or Dad, on the left here, is already in tree 2. So he has a bit of an edge here from that death. Getting back to the kill count, you want to have 99 kills entering the castle so that you can spawn a star in the room with faces. It allows you to save some time, which we will see later on in the run. And every part of the game has a specific range of kills that you'd like to obtain.
On Spaceman's screen, you're going to see him jump on a block and do a spin jump. And in this game, you can get the power-up through the top of it by spin jumping on top, which makes it a lot faster than doing it the other way by hitting the bottom and having to wrap around to get to the top.
Dad doing a great job here, getting through the goo. Just took a little bit of a slow section, but very solid level for him. And Spaceman coming up on the carrot section as well. You should be out of this level momentarily.
Do you want to talk about the tree 3 in a hole and why he crouched there and all of that jazz?
Yeah, so in tree 3, or tree left as we sometimes call it, you want to crouch because there's 2 enemies that produce lag, and so crouching scrolls the screen down to allow the game to lag less, and it saves a lot of time from just playing the level normally without reducing the lag. And there's also a super jump that is performed to get up to those platforms in order to allow the player to skip most of the level.
Dad just took intentional damage to get rid of the bunny ears in order to do a spin jump. You can't do a spin jump unless you're Super Mario or Fire Flower Mario, and he did that in order to get the Fire Flower to make this next boss a lot easier and a lot faster to kill. And you can see Spaceman going for the same strat here. Spaceman taking it safe and slowing down in order to not risk dying. Oh, but he jumped a little short to the cloud. He didn't have P-speed, so he couldn't jump as far.
That's an unfortunate death to take, and unfortunately in Treetop, you actually do take the upper route, so you skip the bell. You can get it if you'd like to have some safety in races, but he didn't get it, so Spaceman is going to have to play through the entire level again. And the bell is an interesting mechanic in itself, because when you ring the bell and then you die, you respawn from the bell. So you do not want to soft reset after hitting a bell, unless of course you're on your last life, so you don't lose all your coins.
Though you can, after you die, after getting the bell without soft resetting. Oh, he went to go back to get the mushroom and fell back. I mean, the fire flower. But if you get the bell and die, take one death, you can soft reset and go to the bell after that one death.
So Spaceman going to try again with the same strat here. And he's going to attempt to grab the fire once again in order to have a quicker kill on the boss. And ideally there's two methods you can take. Obviously if you take the bunny ears into the boss fight, you have to do an interesting maneuver above the boss to defeat him slower than with the fire flower.
And Slash is now doing a very particular jump that he nailed. If you jump at a very specific spot off those blocks, you can land right on one of those spikes without taking damage because you're not touching the hitbox. And you can save a lot of time by walking through those spikes, because you walk faster in Space 1 than you do when you're in the air.
So Spaceman is making his way to the hippo level now. He will be entering the bubble, so he's a little bit behind here, but this race is, as mentioned earlier, very open. The castle is one of the major reset points in the game, actually. 4 races, you will see, you may see a lot of deaths there, you may not see, so it's very interesting how this game plays out in terms of like where the runners can catch up, and some RNG elements as well will also slow down the pace, like such as the witch fight, which you'll see later, and the swimming speeds, we will talk about as well. And Dad making his way through the star maze, and it's an interesting auto-scroller where you maneuver through some angry stars and await an interesting returning boss in the boss room.
Spaceman going very cleanly through Space 1, maximizing his time on the ground so he can move through it as fast as possible.
So Spaceman's going to get a pretty good jump off of the platform with the super jump. Let's see if he gets the nice clean frame jump there and gets the kill on the pig there. And so now he's able to just walk across the spikes, which is faster than going through the air. And that is a very clean Space 1 for Spaceman.
Of course, he's in his home turf, so this level is nothing for him. Dad is getting the star in order to end the Space 2 music and be able to cut through the bottom here without maneuvering. And we got Tatanga coming up. You want to describe Tatanga a little bit?
Yeah, Tatanga is a very interesting fight because there's a lot of strategy you can use to actually defeat the boss, and in this case we saw here
Clean 2-cycle.
Clean 2-cycle by Dad. Ideally, that's an average fight, but it's a very good fight because he stayed Super Mario, which allows him to not have to go for any power-ups at the start of Macro 1, which is coming up next. It is possible to kill Tatanga very quickly and even maintain the fire flower if you're really good at the fight, which will save a lot of time going into Macro 1. There's some interesting lag strats that you can pull off if you have the most optimal finish in the boss fight.
So this bottom path on Dad's screen where that platform, if you go under there, you can get what we call the safety mushroom. And you lose about a second going for that. And the block that's right up on the top of his screen now, that's where the carrot is. and you can go for that as well. And if you get it within the cycle of the platform, you don't really lose that much time. But again, completely unnecessary because he already had a power up.
As you saw here, Slash performed a kind of a swag slide, which is just a really interesting mechanic you can perform in this game. It's not a strat that most people pull off, but it's fun to watch, and of course going for some swag jumps as well along the way after getting the fire flower, and he makes a very clean finish to the secret exit of Macro 1. So we are now entering the auto scroller.
Spaceman getting, it looks like he's going for a 2-cycle. Gets a clean 2-cycle, keeps the mushroom. Puts him in a really good spot.
Spaceman securing his second coin. So we're now going to be at both ends of Macro Zone here with Spaceman starting and Dad sort of in the middle, almost done with the auto-scroller. The auto-scroller is kind of a scary level because it's very easy to fall off, even if you know the level. There's a couple sections in the beginning which are very easy to fall off, and in this section coming up here, you can perform a swag slide, which looks like he's going to perform right here, which allows you to just slide, get pushed right out of the blocks, and you can shoot along the way, actually make some fun designs with the blocks, if you will.
Spaceman took damage from the second spike ant. Wasn't able to get the carrot on the first cycle, so we had to slow down and get on the second cycle. But it doesn't lose any power-up status, and only the time that he lost messing around. It isn't like it's setting him back. He was able to get the fire flower pretty quickly.
It was a nice recovery, and it is a little bit slower to have to wait for the platform, but it's still a safe strat, and it's very good to use in a race, especially if you lose the power-up.
The reason why they get the power-up is you cannot unlock the secret zone in Macro without it, because the blocks that he just killed to get into the pipe require fire flower. And taking that route instead of taking the 2 levels below is much faster. Those 2 levels are both pretty long levels. Slash with getting his 3rd coin with a quick rat kill.
Both runners put on a pretty good show here. Dad with a very clean finish to Macro Zone, as you just saw with that rat fight. And now we enter into Pumpkin Zone, which has a ramp up in the monster kills actually here. This is where the count is going to raise quite a bit, because there are quite a few enemies scattered throughout this level, and you're going to see lots of fireball throws, and ultimately you're going to enter into the next level with a sizable amount of enemies. We're going to want to see an enemy count of around 80 leaving Pumpkin 2. That's an ideal number. It's okay to have a little less or a little more, but you just have to gauge throughout the rest of the run. It looks like Dad takes a hit, so this is going to make... the stair climb is not an easy climb. It takes quite a bit of practice to get down. So this part of the level of Pumpkin 2 is going to be a little bit more difficult because you cannot maneuver as quickly if you don't have the fire flower. But he does a pretty good job here of actually getting past those piranha plants without the fire flower.
And we got a Fair and Burgundy with Raid. Thank you so much.
Spaceman coming up on the final section of Macro 4, and he's about to enter the rat boss. Let's see how the rat boss favors against him.
The Slash taking an unfortunate hit that he couldn't avoid because he had a boo below him and a boo above him. But let's see if he goes for a backup power-up. No, he's going to finish the level small.
Spaceman scooping up that 3rd coin, bringing him closer to Dad here, as he's going to head off to Pumpkin Zone to start his journey there. And Dad finishes off small in Pumpkin 2, which is going to be a slight setback, but there are a few backup carrots that you can pick up in Pumpkin 3, which allow you to catch up to speed a little bit. And it also is a nice safety going into Pumpkin 4 because it is easy to get hit in that stage as well.
He skipped the first potential backup, but the second backup is much faster to get, and there isn't much danger standing between him and that next power-up. Clean stairs by Spaceman makes it flawlessly textbook.
That was an excellent level there with a 4:54 finish on the timer. That's what you want to see when you finish Pumpkin 1. So very, very good Pumpkin 1 for Spaceman. And now Dad has the bunny ears. We'll enter Pumpkin 4 as intended here.
This is a good opportunity for Spaceman to make up some time since he has the power-up and is able to go through the level as intended by the current strats. Slash trying to get some intentional damage for lag reduction, and sometimes when you go through that boo, you don't take damage at all. So it doesn't really set him back other than the minimal lag reduction he lost.
Spaceman making a pretty nice comeback here in Pumpkin Zone. He has a very clean finish here in Pumpkin 2, holding on to that Fire Flower. You can actually enter Pumpkin 3 with the Fire Flower to save for a little extra safety, especially for that Piranha Plant that comes after the small set of stairs.
Do you want to go over the witch fight and its significance?
So in the witch fight, the witch has potential to spawn on either the left or the right side, and it's RNG dependent. So there's a high chance that the witch will shift sides, but sometimes the witch decides to stay on one side rather than switch over, and it is possible to get a very rare right, which you do not want to see in a speedrun, because even missing just one phase of the witch will actually slow down your time significantly.
Spaceman, fell into the spikes there at the end of Pumpkin 3, but he's going to get the carrot really soon anyway, so he really doesn't lose much time from that.
Dad's cruising across Turtle 1. Still in Pumpkin Zone here, looking at Spaceman's side over here, getting that smooth carrot grab, but Slash gliding over Turtle 1. You're going to want to grab the bunny ears and maintain them in the witch fight for the very reason you're seeing here. It saves a lot of time playing through Turtle Zone first instead of going to Mario Zone, so that's why you see Turtle Zone being played first. And Slash is already going into Turtle 2, which has another mechanic that affects speed as well.
You want to go into swim speed?
Sure. So in any water levels, when you enter the water, you have a chance of having slow or fast swim speed. And ideally in this level, you want to, especially this level, you want to get fast swim speed as much as possible because it does add up over time. And ideally you'd never want to have slow swim speed, but in this level especially is where a huge amount of time is lost. And this is one of the mechanics that was discovered much later on in this game's speedrun, where we figured out that you can save a lot of time based on the swim speed you get. And so it's ideal to get the fast swim as much as possible, but you don't have any control over it, unfortunately. So you just have to hope that the game is nice to you and gives you some fast swim speeds.
Spaceman now only a level behind, slowly but surely gaining closer and closer on Dad. And then once Spaceman gets to Turtle 2, there's one more swimming mechanic to go over that I'll bring up. He looks a little low. He's going to have to touch down. Oh yeah, he did it just fine. Got over that last platform. And a clean exit of Turtle 1.
Turtle 3 is a very interesting stage because it is It's definitely a tough stage, and it's very tough to play optimally. As you saw there, depending on how you maneuver through that little hallway there, you can actually run right through that enemy and avoid taking damage.
Spaceman, you can see, is swimming up in that bubble, that air bubble that was above him, stayed really close to him. To swim up quickly requires a specific frequency of A presses to get the maximum height. It does not mean mashing faster, it means swimming up faster. And it looks like Spaceman has a really good timer for that, because keeping up with the bubble is about the maximum speed you can ascend.
Spaceman is going to take some damage here against one of the Koopas as Dad secures his 5th coin, cleanly finishing Turtle 3 and heading off to the final zone of the game, Mario Zone. And that is also a zone of very interesting mechanics and some really fun strats to pull off.
Right in the beginning of this level, Dad's going to go for a super jump off this block. And it looks like he got it, but he went too far to the right to land on the platform, so he had to take the slower route. There's one more super jump coming up later in the level that helps him get up the platforms a lot faster, too. We'll see if we can grab that second one. Oh, you want to explain quick drops?
In this game, we have a mechanic called Quick Drops, which is actually a very interesting mechanic. I don't know if it's in any. I don't think it's in any other Mario game, but essentially, what happens is you release the run button while running off a platform, like right before you fall off a platform, and Mario will instantly drop, which saves some time and is also useful for some specific maneuvers and strats in this game. Which one of them is used at the end of Mario 1. If you decide to enter the last room with a power-up. And the one way you can also exit the level is by going small and doing some very tight jumps through the spikes there that you just see Slash taking some damage there.
Slash is really high on his kill counter at the moment. He wants to finish the next level with a 91 for the most optimal lag reduction, and he's already at 92, so you're going to see him avoid some kills here in the next Mario 3. And Spaceman with his 5th coin heading into the last zone.
Race is still relatively close here. Dad has a bit of a lead here, a couple stages ahead, but it does come down to the castle, and Spaceman does pull off the super jump that we saw before, that Dad made a very solid attempt at making. It's not an easy jump. It's one of the hardest super jumps in the game. And it looks like Spaceman is going to hold on to his Fire Flower and just take minimal damage in the spike room. The nice thing about the kill count in this game is that it is a little bit lenient, so if you miss enemies in some levels, you can make it up later. And also, at the end of the game here, we see here Dad has 92 kills. So it's one more than the optimal number you'd like to have, especially if you're going for maximum lag strats, but it is always good to have at least 91 going into the final level of Mario Zone. It looks like Dad is a full 2 levels ahead, Spaceman, and Dad's starting the levels just about the same time. So this is a very tight race. It's one of the best races that we've seen. We've had some really good races in this tournament so far, and this is just another one with the runners being very close and skilled, and just showing off a lot of the cool strats that this game has to offer.
We have somebody in chat asking if Dad is on PB pace. Do you happen to know his PB?
I believe he has a 2652. Let me double check.
That is not the first time today that we saw accidental color palette changes, but luckily it was not nearly as dramatic as it was last race. Dad
collecting his final coin, and so the castle awaits. And yeah, it's upon checking the leaderboards here, we see. So Dan has a 26.52. So this is really good pace. I'm not sure if this is PB pace, but it's a very solid run nonetheless. As we see Spaceman here finishing up Mario 3 very cleanly here. It's gonna
He's
come down
about 2 kills ahead, but he's going to easily miss those 2 kills in order to be at 99 at the end. But go ahead.
So here we go. Now we're starting we're starting Mario 4. We're starting the castle. This is still anyone's game, really. Dad's going to try to perform a super jump here. Doesn't quite get it, which is fine because you can recover quickly if you do not get it. You land in front of that piranha statue.
Oh, he got the 3-frame jump though. That jump, if you buffer it by 1 or 2 frames or get it exactly when you land, you can jump over that spike ball.
Now, the second floor in the castle is probably one of the most nerve-wracking sections of the entire level. As you saw right there, the propeller platforms have a very particular setup that you can use for going fast, and it is relatively safe to go for. But it's definitely nerve-wracking to set up here.
And those are extremely clean kills of the pigs by Spaceman. He couldn't have killed that first pig much better.
Alright, Spaceman getting his 6th coin is ready to tackle the castle as Dad goes full into the 3rd and final floor of the castle. We are very close to Wario here. This is a very interesting race for sure. It's really exciting to see both runners actually in the castle at the same time, though at polar opposite ends of the castle. Looks like Spaceman's going to just enter the castle as Dad gets to the Wario fight here.
So right now, Dad is going to attempt to jump onto Wario's chair, gets it perfect, makes this first room completely free. You want to talk about the strat in the next phase?
So when you leave the boss room, you want to actually leave phase 1 with a 0, a 4, or an 8 on the timer, and that allows you to get Wario to drop down, as you saw there. It's faster to wait for those numbers, the very last digit of the timer, instead of just running in and waiting for Wario to decide when he wants to drop.
1, 2, and this is time. He has 27.08 in a race. That is not bad at all. Marking Dad as completed.
GG to Dad in this race. That's a very solid run. A low 27, just a very respectable time in this game.
We got Spaceman finishing up still strong.
Spaceman bringing one of the best castle attempts that we've also seen as well. He's playing this very smoothly tonight. He kept up really well despite the mishaps that he had earlier on in the run in Tree Zone, which is the clear separator tonight. Actually, came down to those deaths, because the castle performance from both runners was really nice. As we see Spaceman entering the final section of the castle to face off against Wario. He's gonna get the chair jump. That was a very clean first phase. As you saw there, he left the first room with a 764. So that allows Wario to come down quickly. There's also a strat that you can pull off as well, where you can stand on the statue, and if Wario's below you, he'll rise up, and you can stand there, and you can get the 3 hits on him as well. That way.
Okay, going in for those last 3 hits. And done. Let me mark him done. I'm going to jump over to Discord and start sending out some interview links.
GG to Spaceman with that finish. Strong finish from both runners tonight. Very fun race. we are going to get Spaceman. I think we can try to get Spaceman here as well for some
Yep,
minutes.
I sent him the link. I'm going to try to send it through his Discord. There he is. Let me jump into my Discord. So how do you feel? How do you feel, Dad? Are you getting audio from him, Kratos?
I can't hear him now.
Okay, so
You there, Spaceman?
yep, just made it in finally.
Cool.
All right, so GG to
Well-
both of you tonight. That was a really solid race.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like you guys were saying, it all came down to those two early deaths, in my opinion.
Can we hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent.
So, let's talk to Spaceman first. How did it feel once you broke out of those deaths and you started getting on really good pace? What was going through your head?
Pretty much what I feel like every time. Well, that happened. Gotta move on. Gotta do the race, and here we are.
Is there anything in that run that you did that is better than your PB? Any golds? Any strats you don't usually go for that you pulled off?
Honestly, just the pig fight. I golded that
Smooth.
one. But yeah, that was probably the best one I've had at those. But other than that, it was fairly average, I'd say.
Same question for you, Dad. Was there any spots in that race that you outperformed yourself in?
I mean, I think my first, tree went real well. That was like a fight at like a 416, and I mean, space was Tatonga was fine. Macro 4 went really well. I did pretty good. Macro 1, I'm sure everyone enjoyed the slide.
Yeah.
Well, it got a little rough in Pumpkin, but overall it's pretty good. My submarine was all right. I was happy with the stairs there, unlike the Pumpkin 1 stairs. That was bad.
Yeah. But you recovered. I didn't know if you were going to go for some earlier power ups, but you decided to hold off in Pumpkin 3 until you got to the end of that for the carrot.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Cyclops at the end of Pumpkin 2, so like I grabbed the star just for safety's sake and to keep the kill count where I wanted it, and then I figured I'll just grab the carrot and try to damage boost in Pumpkin 4, yet I was just jumped through the ghost, so oh well.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised to see you ahead of kills instead of behind with kills after losing the fire flower.
Yeah, like I was where I wanted at the end of Pumpkin. I just kept killing things though. It worked out okay.
Any Kratos questions? Any questions on your part, Kratos?
I don't really have any questions really. I was just really impressed with the overall gameplay from both sides. It was really fun to watch. The skill sets very close, and it was really interesting to see how just both runners just so close the whole game. And just as you mentioned, the two deaths just separating the run, because the castle was very clean from both sides. That was probably the best castles I've seen overall in this tourney so far. So very impressive runs.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I missed the super jump at the start of the castle, but then I didn't get running speed off that big piranha, and I was like, well, now I'm in a bad place. But I got out of there.
That's a very clean recovery.
You waited there for a little bit, and I haven't seen somebody wait there before, so that was new to me. But it worked.
I hadn't seen anyone wait there before either. That was new for me.
And how long have you been playing this game for the people at home?
Too long. A few years, at least.
Yeah. At minimum. So yeah, with that, honestly, I think this race really spoke for itself. There's a lot of skill level shown throughout the whole course of it. And the good way to kick off round 2. I'm excited to see where everything leads. For the racers in chat, I'm going to do the little exclamation R if you want to follow the racers anywhere. And if you are interested in running this game, I'm sure Dad, Spaceman, Kratos, or anybody would love it if you join the Discord, and we'd love to help you out, teach you all the strats, get you up and running. Any closing notes, Kratos?
Congratulations to both runners again, and Dad for that victory. It was very solid run. Just really impressed with how you both handled that. You both handled that run.
I came to game. I risked it for the biscuit, and we got that bread.
You did indeed. Well, with that, everyone have a wonderful night, and we're gonna get set up for the next section here on Speed Gaming 4.